a bit of fun. Then, somewhere along the way, the big platforms moved in. Last year, $200 billion flowed upwards, away from the people who actually play. This year, they take it back. YOM, where players play games straight from your PC, not a data center in Virginia. Meet Tyler Pemberton. Yes, this looks dramatic, but he's perfectly fine. Tyler's offline. His PC isn't. 47 players streaming from his GPU right now. Even AFK, Tyler's rig is pulling its weight. He's making money in his sleep. Maybe this is what happens when gamers finally take control of their own world. Turn your idle GPU into passive income. YOM.net. Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
Hello, everyone. Hello. You've got quite the live stream to go through. There's a lot of details to go through today. How are you, Jeroen?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, pretty good. Yeah, personally healthy, but it's been a while, and it's also been a while basically on the town hall, to be honest. Last time
it's been
was
a couple of weeks.
2 months ago, I believe, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
And quite a ride so far. Yeah, we have obviously dropped the news, but yeah, we'll dive in that later. But yeah, it's quite a week, I must say.
Yeah. We're not going to stall too long to get to the news. I think that's the reason why most people have joined the stream. But I do want to give some people some time to find the stream, because that generally what happens. People realize that they're 5 minutes. We were 5 minutes late ourselves, just trying to get your audio up and running. But give people a few minutes now that the stream has started. And the way that I usually stall, I'm going to do it right now, is show off some contributions to Walter and his our logo. I do love Walter. I mean, I think the character is great. Nice. So here's some of the versions that people from the community have posted. And I do have a winner for the week, and it's already showed off in the timer video if you pay attention. So I love this one here, showing that Skyrim is playing. But if you look closely, that other hand, they're both the two left hands.
Yeah, two lefties there.
Yeah, it's not quite figured out everything that they need to do. But
where is he located? In a big data room? What is it? He's within the data center, or is he like
playing Skyrim? Doesn't realize he can be playing from home.
Yeah,
if you wanted to. Casey gave this one. Casey's been providing a lot of really nice ones. But here he is, just kind of eyes wide open, enjoying the stream.
This is actually really cool, by the way, because it's actually carrying the Nano around his wrist.
I didn't notice that before. You're right.
Yeah, like he's carrying the Nano around his wrist. So this is basically a portable device now that you basically can carry along. That's cool.
I don't think let's not put that on Rohan just yet. The poor guy's trying to get enough stuff done.
Nicely done, though.
This one here, just kind of soaking in the entire network again. All those different games and being shown. That was a pretty nice one. Missing his glasses. Walter has blue round rim glasses. If you don't have that, Walter's kind of be.
He looks angry here. Like
he does. I mean, he's got red eyes. So
yeah. That's why.
That was from my fan XBT. Please follow them. Josh, this is really nice, right? Nice pencil rendering. I'm sure. I mean, I expect maybe that it was pencil rendered from AI, not pencil rendered from himself. But Josh, if you drew this yourself, thanks so much. If you just rendered through AI pencil rendering, it's really still nice too. I like the idea of using different rendering techniques.
Really nice.
But
can I print these two in my bedroom? This is actually really well done.
Yeah. A little clean for. I expect that Walter has more stuff kind of laying around his room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the minimalistic type, right?
No, I don't think it is. This one here came very close to taking the prize because this is just a beautiful. I'd like to know what AI system he's using because this came out really, really nice.
Yeah.
Like it a whole bunch. This is from Master Kelvin, Master Kelvin. But it was the other one that Master Kelvin submitted. This is my winner for the week. I mean,
Yeah, style.
to my
This
mind,
guy
that's
got style.
that's a pretty sweet looking.
It's really awesome. I mean, how do you get to this quality even?
I mean, I guess I have to think that they're all going through different AI models, right? Because I use a different one. I use one out of Korea when I generate my images, and it's pretty nice. But I think this one here is even nicer still. So much about it, the rack focus and all that. Now, again, I don't know if you saw, you might not caught all the whole broadcast I did on Wednesday night, but NVIDIA had dropped their DLSS rendering technique where they're doing like a multi-pass, and on the final pass, they pass the each frame through AI in game rendering, right? Which does make the stuff look super realistic, but boy, the gaming community is really just frying them over it. They hate the idea of AI taking a pass at every frame and changing what the game artists have made. Have you seen the articles? Have you seen
I haven't seen it. No.
Yeah. Again, I think gamers themselves are still kind of like, hey, keep that AI stuff away from me. But I don't know. I see stuff like this and I'm like, I don't know, some of the AI stuff is pretty damn sweet.
But why is a game like a real game architect, like really someone who basically develops game himself for every detail, like a painter wants to make his own painting. But again, if you're if you like the game, obviously that number is, I think, way bigger than people just like to create a game without knowing the details, to be honest.
It's probably true. It's probably true. But what I think is what's exciting about AI helping out, and it's kind of almost the same thing that, like I said, what I'm excited about, what we're creating, is that it's going to make it very easy for people who like have some parts of the game cycle in their head, or like they've got some skills in some areas, but they don't have the skills in the other areas. But they can lean on AI. Like I've done a lot of art for years, right? I never programmed really, but if I wanted to make a game and I got plenty of game ideas in my head, I can't do the programming. But if I have AI doing the programming while I do the art, or I direct the art or something like that, then the entire game cycle can be put on me. Now that's not great for large teams, but it's really good for individual creators. And really that's where you get the most unique game mechanics. You get the most unique ideas. Then it becomes a matter of how do I get the game out to as many people as possible, which is, of course, hey, we're over here, we're YOM, we do that for people. So I'm not opposed necessarily to AI.
Have you already said that what YOM is about? Normally, I always listen to your town hall. You always like you're in it. You just actually always repeat like what we are, what we do.
I do. Well, I figured the commercial at the beginning now during the timer, the commercial kind of handles it. But you're right. I probably did jump a few steps for people who are tuning in for the first time. I mean, most of the people who tune in, they already know kind of what we are and what we do. But if you're coming into us brand new and you don't really know, you've got like the first 2 times you've seen the name YOM in front of your computer, you finally decided to stop in on the town hall. What we have is a decentralized cloud network. We allow games to stream through any website inside of Telegram or Discord off of our decentralized network. It's much cheaper. It's about it's 95% cheaper than using like an Amazon server to stream games. What that means is access to games is so much less expensive. It's going to be like a YouTube for games, where on YouTube, anyone who creates a video can put it up on YouTube. Doesn't cost them anything, and then if they happen to throw ad revenue up there, they can earn some money from it. We're opening up games to being that ubiquitous, that easy to reach, that easy to upload. All you have to do is make the game, put it on our network, and the reason we can do this is people who have a gaming rig at home who want to earn passive income when they're not using their gaming rig. They'll loan the rig to us. We use the GPU cycles to stream the game content to the end user. So your game just is sitting idle when you go to work or you're asleep at night. You want to earn passive income, which can be somewhere between 50 and upwards of 400 if you're running enough streams per month. So you loan us the machine and you're in passive income, and then that machine is a machine that the network uses to stream the game to the end user. And like I said, the end user can really reach it so many different places. So it's a huge change to the way the cloud gaming is done. Many developers that we talk to get super excited because the thing that most of the gaming industry is struggling with is discoverability, getting the game in front of a player that doesn't involve having to download and install the game. In our system, you just hit the website and you're playing, or you get in the Discord channel and you're playing. Makes adoption that much faster.
Or through ads. You can also play a game through ads. It already exists, obviously, or on any website, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, looks like Jort got out of that meeting. Let me bring him up. Welcome to the fray. Hey, Jort, how are you?
Yeah, hey, Jeff, Jeroen, sorry, I couldn't join at 6. Lots of back-to-back calls, and of course, this was one of the most important one. Same for Andy. But
my laptop ran out of batteries. I was running around trying to find my charger. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. You guys just missed all the excitement. We just shut off. I'm going to for one hot second, really quick. But this Walter was the Walter for the week. I think that I don't think you're not going to find a much better Walter render.
Cool. Nice? Very nice. Yeah, Daniel made it, or what?
That was from Master Kevlin in our community.
Oh, from the community. Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. Let's animate him next time, so we can do maybe a video.
Yep, there are ways to do that. There are do that.
Really cool. Okay.
So usually what I do. Yeah, let me get it kicked off. Usually, what I do is I'll go over some industry news. I'll go over the Mindshare board and everything. But this is a pretty important discussion we're having today because, as most people in the community know, we've dropped the news already. We have to move the TGE date again, and it's frustrating in a way to us. But this reasoning, this one's again out of our control because it's about the EU regulations, but. Again, I am being positive. I think this is the regulations. I talked on Wednesday night about how the SEC finally came out and gave us some rulings that put clarity in the crypto market. And that clarity is going to make it very, very easy for institutional investors and for money to come into the space. As of now, in the US, people were very hands off. A lot of institutions were worried about getting involved in crypto because you don't know if you're going to misstep, if you're going to all of a sudden become something that's not tradable or correctly. Anyways, SEC dropped their ruling, but it turns out that MiCA dropped, 3 years ago, but they made the proposal with what we didn't recognize necessarily is that there was a deadline for it all to go live. The grandfathering kind of shut down this month. So all of a sudden, as we were talking, getting closer and a week away, Wednesday night, I was still saying TGE was a week away. They finally realized that we weren't going to be able to get through all the gates that the EU has put in front of us in time for next Wednesday. So we're moving the date, and really, we hope we don't move it too far. But let's get into a little bit of all of that. And anyone want to add flavors to that before I get started on talking about MiCA?
I've of course went into all of the bureaucratic processes, and there are different layers, right? So initially it was okay, and this was introduced in 2025. End of 24, that was the MiCA white paper requirement. Okay, straightforward. You would say, okay, white paper, maybe just some. Now, turns out that what the EU has developed is its own language, its own HTML language, but then completely different. And they provided the projects with a 300-page manual on trying to understand how to create the markup for the submission of the protocol. So they're not using the standard REST APIs or standard web form submission. No, you have to use their manual to build that, right? So the only way to go forward with that is actually by getting a consultant on board. So we explored that initially, and they're like $20,000 that will submit your white paper for you. You still have to do all of the work. They only do the conversion to that very extensive manual. So well, that's funny. I mean, the European Union is obviously doing its best to make it really harsh. But that's only one thing, right? Because you think, okay, right now you have AI, you have Claude, and you have Gemini, and they can read the manual and build it for you. So that's exactly what we did. So within no time, we had that white paper ready all the way back in January, right? So we were right on time. But as January moved into a close, MiCA or the European Union started to introduce new requirements and become really strict on enforcing them to exchanges. So the exchanges we were speaking with were saying, okay, guys, it's really uncertain with MiCA. You need to have all of these checks. You need to be registered. You need to have DTI, LEE, complete. And DTI was introduced in January. actually this year. That was a new thing. So that means the EU is now registering every token almost like off-chain in their own database, so they can see exactly what's going on. It's a different submission you have to do. So it's like, okay, rather than tying it to the white paper, you have to then build a different submission. As of March, they decided to make that also, like, if you want to submit, you also have to pay money for that submission. So that is going on right now. So we now have to pay to get a DTI number, which was introduced in January, which doesn't make sense because the whole point of blockchain is that every token is identifiable with all of the transactions, etc. Like, why do you need an off-chain copy of the blockchain, right? Now, at the same time, the exchanges were very stringent on meeting the requirements, and they said, "Yeah, well, if we don't have like full completion, and we passed the 20, we passed the 20 days, but then we got messages back from the regulator stating, oh, you need this, you need the DTI, you need," and it's like, okay, right. How do we deal with that? Do we exclude Europe? Are we at that point now that we just have to say, okay, the bureaucracy has gotten so extreme that even AI cannot keep up with it because they keep adding more lawgivers and more bureaucrats to the system, so many that even AI is like, okay, now like you should have. So it's completely crazy situation. Now the advantage is that we're doing our homework. We're following up with all of that. Not many projects have. So new projects actually cannot launch in Europe, most of them. Because
that was there. Not to cut you off, Europe, but that was a consideration that we said to ourselves too. We said, well, we can do this and hit our date because we did say this is the, we don't want to change the date anymore. We're going to get it in Q1, and we were so close, and a lot of work was going up to, and a lot of our community was getting geared up to that date. So we said we could do this on the 25th still, but we'd have to geo-block all of Europe. Which, if anyone sees the map of our nodes, we're very strong. That's where our strongest community is, or our largest community is, our biggest base. And it just seemed foolhardy to try to launch and geo-fence out Europe.
Yeah. So that is, and it's also the only way to launch nowadays. In 2026, if you think you can just deploy a token in some LP, like this was meme coin stuff, right? 2024, 2025, and then make a fortune or make it successful, or like that's like all of the DEXs are completely, they're not doing anything. So the only way to make it as a sustainable project is to get institutional adoption. And to get institutional adoption is to accept the bureaucracy and to hit walls and to then fill in the forms. But the moment you do pass that, then everything, then it's alignment with the exchanges. They all like you, the bureaucrats like you, and then you can do a proper launch with all of the LPs supplied, right?
And this is why I've said in the description for the video, and I've said in our group as well, it makes me bullish on our case yet again, because there, like you're saying, there's going to be a lot of projects that are going to hit that wall and just stop. And one of my biggest gripes about this space, the Web3 space, for the longest time, is that it did allow, because it was the Wild West, it allowed a lot of charlatans, a lot of rugs, and a lot of projects that meant to do well, but they themselves weren't forced into any kind of structure. Yep. So if they didn't have a very strong regime internally to police themselves, they got way out over their skis and they fell down. So not all of them were just necessarily bad actors on purpose. They just didn't have anyone looking over their shoulder saying, you've got to do it this way.
Yeah.
But we can pass all those gates because we're a seasoned team with a lot of experience doing these kinds of things.
It's in the end, it needs to meet in the middle, right? Because the complete Wild West, as what we've seen, and with all of the meme coin sprawl everywhere, like we consider that, I said that many times, it's basically network spam, right? Meme coin is not funny. It's not funny if you rip off a whole community. That's not funny, right? It's great. That's fraud. That's fraud on scale, and you have blockchains enabling that. So you have Solana embracing meme culture. It's like, ha ha ha! You now lost your fortune because there's inside trading and manipulation going. Like, these are gangs, guys.
Can I say something here? Right,
Yeah,
I saw a tweet yesterday, and I'm going to slate Solana a little bit, but it said more people have lost money on Solana than the 2007 financial crisis, which I'm not sure if that's true. But I think what they were saying is that the entirety of people that put money on, the tank price now that it is and how it's gone is in the tens of billions.
Retail got
at
tricked
least.
by cyber barons that it's not lots of people tried to set up on meme coins. Most meme coin failed. There were a certain meme coins that actually succeeded. But if you track down who will control those meme coins, they were the same institutions. They were just amassing, manipulating the market, setting up meme coins in a particular way. They strategized. They basically wrecked a whole retail community. And then retail was like, oh yeah, these are the coins you need to go in. Well, these coins that were recommended were actually the cyber criminals that took everything and drained the entire crypto industry, right? So retail is gone. It's completely wrecked. The market
So I lead us back to, because I don't want to go too far into where because we could do this whole show on complaining. But I'll lead us back to again, for people who are frustrated with the idea that we had to delay again, keep in mind we're delaying to be even more compliant, and because only so many projects are going to make it past that gate, that means we're much more interesting to those institutional investors, all those other places that might want to back us or to promote us, or all the gaming publishers who want to get on board. They see that we've made it through these gates and recognize that, hey, we're serious people with a serious project. So ultimately, that leads to good stuff for us. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, and I put this post in the Telegram group earlier. This has been a really tough call. I looked at Jeroen's face when we were discussing it, and he was like, no, he's like, we've got to, but every person that we've spoke to, by the way, like literally without fail, when we say, look, here's situation number one, which is we just launch, we go on a couple of dexes and we, whatever, or we do it properly. We make sure we've got the right liquidity. We make sure we've got all the MiCA. We've got the buying pressure coming in, which we know we have. But if we took MiCA out, we might not have as much buying pressure as we would have. And you go, here are the two options, right? Option number one satisfies, and I know it's upsetting for the community, but it satisfies an instant hit of, you said you were going to do this, you're going to do it. B, everybody's like, do it. You've got to delay.
Right?
That's the point. And it's painful. But
upsetting the community. Let's define that. Who are we upsetting exactly? Who would be upset by a good launch? Right? Like that is the question. Because there are people who are upset because they want their money. Right?
Yeah.
That upset I understand. Right? It's like, okay, I put my money in there at some point. We did some work. Now, where is it? Right? But the being upset about the project not making the right decision. I mean, the project is making the best possible decision for all the holders, right? We're increasing the value.
Not us, categorically,
Right.
That's the point.
Yeah. Increasing the value for everyone, right? So that means that you won't. So that we won't go to 50% of the price in 2 weeks post.
To be fair, we're not financial advisors, and we can't tell you what's going to happen with the token price. But we can say, and I'm going to demonstrate here in a few minutes too, that this delay to the token launch has no real impact on the technology that we've been building and the way that it goes live. So Rohan and I met earlier today, and he dropped on me all the links to watch our tokens being traded on Avalanche's testnet, our test token. And so he's showing me how we're set to go. So once we can get the token out there, we can start paying. We're already paying the alpha node testers on the test network, on Avalanche's test network. They're getting tokens. I'm actually, you know what I'll do? I'll bring that up right now so we can talk about it.
By the way, just want to interrupt quickly. Andy made this remark, right? And the reason that is important to explain. Why did Andy do that? The reason is all of this is very sensitive. If we make any predictions about what's going to happen to the token and we make that explicit to the community, this is why we're doing, because we want to make that means also that suddenly we're responsible for meeting that objective. right? Like that doesn't work. We're doing our best to make the project and the token have the most sustainable price action, but we cannot make any promises on whether it's going to go to the moon or whether it's going to zero or whether it's going to like that is impossible, right? So just wanted to clarify that. But
And I was also joking when I was doing that, by the way. You know that.
Yeah. But the technology is still revolutionary. And again, the publishers, when they see it, right, we've had success coming out of G, and then all you guys just came up that I pulled you away from was, I mean, that's a big name in the gaming industry. So I'm very curious after this call. I want to talk to the two of you about how it went. So, but let me show off what Ron showed here to me. And you might be able to talk about this a little bit too, since I'm sure you're very aware of what's going on here. But what Ron showed me was that, again, these are transactions that are happening on Avalanche's Snowtrace network, right? But they are, when people are playing games off the Walter GG and off of YOM.net, in a
Can you make
single
that bigger,
hash.
by the way, Jeff? I can't really see it that well.
Oh,
And I'm sure other people probably are the same.
Are you on a potato? What are you watching on?
A potato, please.
Better?
Much better, thank you.
Yeah, sure enough. All right. So again, this is on Snowtrace, which is Avalanche's testnet. But you're seeing that we've got the our token supply of the testnet token, not the actual YOM token, is there. And at these hashes, which is these three top ones are the same hash, we're paying out to the node operator their 0.2 YOM, to ourselves the 0.25 YOM for the network stability, and then burning this 0.025 YOM. So you can see that as these games are being played, all these transactions are happening. So again, Ron is rightly proud of the work that he did. I mean, his whole team is, there's such a stellar group.
This is really cool, by the way. I haven't actually seen this working on chain yet. So that's
you haven't? Oh no, we're on chain.
I mean, it's released. I think yesterday.
I've got to add it in. Actually, I haven't got the token set up on my thing yet.
Obviously,
I've got one of the nodes running, so I need to set it up, and then we're.
Yeah, and you can set your. I think there was a button he showed me where it would let you add this to MetaMask.
I was going to say, what you do is if you just copy it and send it, and then I can basically just copy it over, and that's it. It's dead easy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So the next step for the crew is to get this to read out at the several exchanges, right? I think you guys are doing like a 3 exchange comparison to pull the token price at the moment of the
correct.
At the moment of the payout, right? Or the moment of the purchase, I suppose. Yeah. So that's the next step. He's talking to all three to the 3 exchanges that we're working with to get that system set up. And so that's again coming in real hard.
What is also pretty cool is you see the burning immediately happening in the total supply.
Exactly at the top. You can, can't you? Yeah.
And this is so right now. He did tell me, listen, this is set at 10 cents per YOM token. Because it's just hard coded in that when he starts getting the averages off the other tokens, they won't always be 0.025 that gets burned. It'll be more or less depending on the token price out in the market.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other thing he showed me, let me sure I get this right as well. Yeah, is again our supply and how it's being divvied up over the different pools. These are the different wallets that are set up again, but this is all on Snowtrace. This isn't the real stuff, though the numbers are real. Yeah. So pretty exciting. And again, that's just the technology on the blockchain side of things. I know that the guys are working on getting 2 more games live. Do you have any insight into how that's working out?
I know the names, but
one's a very cool game, isn't it? One's a poker game, which is backed by NFL, or is that one of those?
I don't know.
No,
Rohan.
Isn't it that one? Okay, that's coming anyway. By the way, sorry to ruin.
I know. I can't say it, but I know a shooter that's coming up.
Yeah.
Our objective is to get, and you can see that on Walter.g, is to get Dota 2 and Destiny 2 live. That's our objective, to have those games live as fast as possible. That means anybody can play Dota 2 on the network competitively and try it out, right? Like that is our objective, and that will. We expect that will bring a lot of buy pressure and token burn on the network. We'll be shipping these games not only from Walter.g, but also publishing them on Telegram and Discord. So people can play effectively these games in their chat apps instead of needing to download Dota 2, right? So that is going to be very cool. Yeah.
And do people know what Walter GG is? Because we didn't do a formal announcement on anything, and we.
No,
so
it's a whisper campaign right now, but I mean we're whispering through a live broadcast.
Because I mean, there's so much stuff going on. You know, I talk to you guys like mostly every day, and even not even during the day, but also at night sometimes. It's crazy. But
did we announce Walter? Was there any maybe like?
No, we haven't never announced Walter.
Hold on,
GG,
don't announce it then. Do it next week. There's one for you.
Well,
don't tell anyone about it.
We'll just go live casually without announcement, right?
Yeah, sure. But then we have let's choose a moment now. Then let's go for it.
Yeah.
I think I brought it up on Wednesday. I brought it up on the Wednesday broadcast again for a hot minute. But I think what we want to do is do a whole live stream around, walking through Walter GG, what the proposal is, how it's being received by game publishers, and the reason for setting it up as. I mean, besides just the name is so cool.
Yeah, true. But I think the key technical thing that we're still solving is the Steam login part, because the moment we have Steam enabled, that means any game that is on Steam we support on the network. That means we can bypass all publishers directly at once, right? So it makes the whole model a lot more lightweight, and that's really big. So yeah, that's what we're heading towards, but we're just still developing that integration, making it more mature. We're also at the same time, as you can see, like everything needs to be on chain. It needs to be stable. We need to ensure that we have nodes everywhere on the right places. So we have, that's also an update on so we were planning to have this month the first 80 devices shipped globally. Well, that's going to be delayed as well, just for the memes, by a couple of weeks. So that means that early Q2, let's say April, we will start shipping the first 80 devices to the people who pre-ordered them. So that's pretty exciting. So, that's also a little bit delayed. But it's only a couple of weeks, guys. So come on.
The manufacturing delay. I mean, there's so many people. So this is the thing, right? The manufacturing delay. I was about to say there's so many checkpoints in that pipeline that having delay there is not so surprising. And it used to be that for launching a token, you didn't have that many, stop gaps. Or gates, but now with MiCA and everything else, I guess it's. I would not be surprised if you don't see a slew of projects that also delay because they're hitting bureaucratic tape that requires them to do more work, and I don't think all of them are going to have the.
And actually, the longer we wait, the stronger also the project becomes. Right, the more economic buy pressure, occurs. Now, of course. Like we could launch and then people will like sell, buy, whatever, right? Speculate. But the whole point of why we started this in the first place is to replace big tech like Silicon Valley, AWS, Microsoft, all of these parties with an open protocol of compute, GPU compute that everybody wants. Because look at that, right? Who's number one on the S&P? That's NVIDIA. Why is NVIDIA number one? Because they sell GPUs, they build GPUs. Right.
That's you saw the article that I dropped too about NVIDIA going in with a decentralized AI network. Right. All right. So
you did? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the general chat. So NVIDIA decided that, they've recognized, right, decentralization saves them a whole bunch of headaches. So they're going after, again, a decentralized AI network, which is one market. I mean, there's a lot of need for AI compute. The other market, again, is the gaming market. That's the other one where large networks will work so long as they're decentralized. Otherwise, it's just too expensive.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's the only way for it to scale. In the end, it's all physics. It comes down, how can you deliver the fastest, right? And you cannot literally in every neighborhood put a data center. It's just you need to have the land. You have the hardware amortization. That means replacing it every so many years. You need to build that equilibrium in a neighborhood. It's impossible. You cannot do it, right? It's just
And Andy, you might have seen these where you are, but I know I've seen here in the States, a couple of places, states that I'm familiar with or lived in. They're fighting hard against data centers being built. Everyone recognizes that it's a huge energy glut, it's a huge water drain, and people who are living around the ones that have been built are complaining about their energy, their electricity prices going up, their water prices both going up. So there's a real pushback on these large data centers here in the States. I don't know how it is where you're watching it.
Yeah, we've got loads
we
of
have big
protests
waterfalls
and
in
everything.
Holland. So
What's that?
we have big waterfalls in Holland, big mountains. Yeah, we have a lot of power here.
Hey, well, you can afford them.
That's
States not so much. All right, hey, so we should probably take some time to get into some of these questions, right? Because there's a lot of questions that are being asked, and the one that comes up immediately, we're saying that there's the review process for the white paper that we've submitted, and then all these other pieces that we have to put in. It's a 20 business day requirement, but that's like 20 business days of government's time, right? Which I don't trust that it's only going to be 20 business days. It doesn't seem like it's really going to be true. And then we have to worry about, if there's going to be any revisions more that they're going to ask for. So I don't think it's wise for us to say, and I don't think the community wants us to put another date out there that we're unsure about. So we're not going to just say, well, 20 business days from today is the date that we're going to go for, because we just can't do that. Can't say that with any kind of real certainty, whatever that word is. Thank you, certainty.
Wow. I was going to say, well done, mate.
Hey, some people have a way with words, and other people not have a way. I guess.
Fail.
So anyway, so the answer. So the question that we get, the guys are peppering the mods with is, does that mean April 20th, or does that mean April whatever? Please recognize when we have a date that we're going to be like, yep, we can do it. All the gates have been passed. The government is happy, and the exchanges are ready to go. You're going to hear it again loudly, and again, we'll just be very careful.
And it's a target date, right? It's a target date. Consider us a game publisher almost, right? We are working with game publishers continuously. We just came out of like every game publisher. I mean, look at Grand Theft Auto. I mean, it's already
not GTA. Yeah, don't quote that one.
Look at Valve.
And 18
Elder Scrolls
years.
6, right? I mean, they've announced the game that was in 2018. They announced this trailer, and I mean, there's still nothing. We're like literally 8 years along, right? 8 years people are waiting for the game. Now, how long are people waiting for YOM, right? We delayed 2 times, right? Like most projects, they delayed. I would say we are still below average.
We may have delayed 3 times, depending on when.
No, I don't think so. It's 2 times we delayed.
It's how you count a delay, right? So we didn't give a date, but we said that it should happen within a certain window. We didn't hit that window, and then gave a date of October, and then gave this date. So some people can count through. I don't fault people for saying you delayed 3 times. I think we can say date wise we dropped 2 dates.
We dropped 2 dates. Yes. So and that is a very specific thing, right? So the moment you drop a date, you say, okay, that's going to happen. That's the target. Everything is aligned to, and it was also our target, right? The 25th was our target. You can see it in all of our marketing efforts.
Well, it's helpful for us internally too when we set a date like that, because then really just going to it helps us to add pressure to the partners who are coming on board. Yep. It helps to put pressure on the team, a good kind of pressure, right? The right kind of pressure.
Yeah. And then it's normal for dates to then be delayed, to get delayed. That is entirely normal. It's not like the world is a flexible, uncertain, super complicated environment. I mean, especially the stuff where if we had a very simple app that's very linear, of course you can plan a certain date. But if you're dealing with a global deep in infrastructure of compute with a small team, and you need to coordinate exchanges, financials, technical, I mean, it's easier to build Grand Theft Auto, honestly. Yeah, I mean, that's just a game. So,
but it's true. It is true.
It's crazy. I mean, and then what is a couple of months? What is a year even? Right?
We're not going out a year. Don't put that in people's heads.
Knocking.
No, right. We're not. But again, AB is in there going what's the new time frame? Why has a date become indefinite? I would say the reason why the date has become indefinite is because we have to work with the government. And if you guys listen to me long enough, you know that I'm not a big fan of governments. Like I'd like them to be as hands off as possible, but I recognize that I'm kind of in the minority there. And then certainly if I was an institutional investor, I want the government to go in there and put regulations on, which is what they've done with MiCA. So I understand the value. I don't love that that's the way the world works, but I understand the value of it. So why has the date become indefinite? Because we're going through government hoops to get all the regulations satisfied, so we can be attractive to larger investors and to the gaming community as a whole, to basically to prove that we're a real project. Right?
Yeah. And then when we have the next town hall, when we can announce the TG, we will bring a guest from the government on the town hall. What about that?
I get the feeling they're probably not going to come. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, no.
All right. What did I not cover? The community involvement stuff. Jeroen, did you want to hit some stuff there?
Yeah. So we also had a lot of questions about, okay, what about the questing? What about the mind share? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to consider. So look, we actually planned the whole snapshotting the system at TG, but now TG has moved. We're considering bringing that a little bit more closer to like in front of the TG date, so closer into time. So expect something to be announced shortly about that. So we consider that. As for anything else, what we announce is basically we will basically announce something about a tier system, sorry, not a tire system, tier system, which will help you to know what position you are in the leaderboard, but also what kind of reward you get eventually. So we'll announce this in a very proper way, in an article way where everything is going to be explained. But that's something I can share now.
All right, thank you. Andy, lean forward as if you wanted to say something.
No, not at all. No, just moving around in my seat. My ADHD's kicking in. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I've been here for like 3 hours in the same seat. I'm like, is it time to move yet? Sorry, so no.
Yeah, it was nice. I've been in for like 8 or 9. All right, it's not a contest. Jorrit, anything you want to leave? I think that I don't really have a whole bunch more questions here in the chat. If you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them out there. If I have questions that we haven't already addressed, I guess. Go ahead.
Something about the gas price going up in the Netherlands, which is indeed strange because we have the biggest gas field in Europe. But the regulators here, the government here, just to get into the theme of hitting on government officials, they decided, because it's better for the environment, to just fill the gas fields with cement, so we cannot extract any gas from the fields. So we're now relying on the U.S. gas fields. Well, we own the biggest gas field in Europe. Right, and we're just shutting it down because we're scared that houses in Groningen will.
Never heard of that place, mate. Forget it. There's plenty more cities in the Netherlands.
Well, it's really funny. It's really a topic here. Like, what the fuck are they doing? What's the government doing? We're proactively destroying the country. It's the same with the whole box 3 taxes that went viral globally, where the Dutch basically decided, okay, we're just going to exit capitalism altogether. Like fuck gas, fuck capitalism. Let's just quit here. So I mean that's in the theme of this talk, I would say.
Okay, so we got another couple of questions, and these people who are suggesting, again, they're kind of looking for. It sounds like they're kind of looking for some way to be like, okay, since you're going to change it, can you compensate the community in some other way, like change the unlocks or all those things? But those deals are already, as far as I know, right? They're already in contracts with the exchanges. We can't change numbers. We don't really want to change numbers. It is just an unfortunate delay.
No, we're strengthening the project, so it should be reflected in the outcome that we're all working towards, right? And with all, I mean us as a team. I mean also the grinders. I mean the community, the advisors, everyone around us. So holistically, we're working towards appreciation of value. That should be the compensation, right? Like more times means, in theory, better appreciation of value.
Yeah. A stronger launch is going to benefit everybody.
Exactly.
And then I got from Patrick Mad Hatter. What about the buyout, which we've always tied to the post TGE, right? What we put in
it's tied to the post TGE. First month after TGE buyout happens, so don't worry about it.
Make sure you did KYC, right? That's important.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, have we set up that we made the KYC portal open?
Because that would be post TG, right? So post TG, all of the emails will go out to all of those who've picked a buyout, and then you fill them in. You get your USDC submitted, transferred to your wallet.
Oh, apparently this is the 6th time that we changed TGE dates. I see now someone in the chat. May 25th.
But again, that's not dates, right? Those are windows. We opened up windows. I don't know that we said May 25th. I know we had a window in September, a window in October.
May 25th. We didn't close the. It was March 25th.
No,
when
people
we
misunderstood when the bridge closed. They thought that was going to
Yeah.
be TGE date, which
That was never
really what we
announced.
said, right?
No,
So that's
that was never
misunderstanding
done.
there.
What about October, December, March?
We did give a date in October. I don't think we gave a date in December. I
No.
think we gave a window.
Provisionally, we were going to launch on the 9th, but that was never a formalized date. And then
But, again, my point
again,
was,
that's not again.
as I said
semantics.
earlier, depending on how you count it, some people are going to have a number of 6, some people are going to have a number of 3, some people are going to have a number of 2. It's moved, and it's not great. But again, every reason we've moved it has only put us closer to a stronger project. And this one, again, I think I can say, I guess I would agree with people who would say, well, how did you not see this coming? And again, the deadline of March for a new regulation kicking in, or that was started in January, I mean, that's kind of blindsided. To be watching every single regulation coming up from EU. Maybe we could do better at that. I'm certainly we're going to do better at that going forward. But that one I'm not going to fault us on too much.
Yes, I
All
think
right. Some guys are just not going to be satisfied. We're not going to satisfy everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just looking at the chat. So sorry, guys. All I hear from you is bullshit.
Yeah.
Tell us, please, what do you want to hear? Like, I will answer it. Put your concrete questions in the list here. We'll answer it immediately. So feel free, rather than commenting these things. Okay, thanks for the more. Yeah, indeed. Anything else? Finish the loyalty program. Okay. We're actually starting a new loyalty program that hasn't been announced yet, I believe. But yeah.
Why do you keep announcing the stuff that hasn't been announced?
Yeah, well, this
That's my show. You always do.
You know what I mean?
For people who want a little behind the scenes baseball.
it's good, right? So you get to hear from the.
I shared that we're considering snapshotting the current leaderboard and then start.
There we
with
go.
the new season.
But so people know in the background, whenever we get ready for these very large town halls where we have all the leadership, we all look at Yorit and Yorit,
don't say anything.
don't say too much.
Yeah. Well,
He's the guy with the loose lips.
The biggest things are not being said here, right? Like this is all okay. Like Walter GG, we kind of already announced, right?
We did. I mean, I've talked about it again in previous lessons, but it's been, like I said, we didn't do a big splash. We wanted to kind of whisper that one out and see. I think because we were making sure that all the technologies, worked correctly.
Right. It's probably because I've got an engineering background, so I'm just concretely looking at the things rather than about the build-up. Indeed,
Well,
and I think that's
I
good,
also think.
right. So
a lot of this is your vision that you probably had for 6-8 years, where you thought this is the best way to stream games, a very powerful technology that you had in your head, and seeing it come together, I imagine, is very exciting.
That is very exciting indeed. I would say on the high level, that is indeed, we're now executing that vision. That's extremely exciting, actually. And then there are all of these platforms and announcements around it and timing, etc. That I'm like very excited about, but almost like, I mean, in the end, it's really about executing that GPU vision, right? And showing the numbers there and the metrics. And
it's something that I talked about Wednesday night, by the way. Because you and I had that conversation earlier on Wednesday, and then I had the live stream Wednesday night. The idea that, what we're talking about is a change to the economic system where people are going to be earning their income from the equipment that they own. We've talked about this over and over again, but GPU cycles is a commodity that people are buying and selling. And what we're saying is not a lot of people who have a gaming rig know already that when they're not using the rig, it can be super valuable. You just got to find the channel that does it the way that you want to do it. I still think some of the best avenue in that direction.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the game. So in the beginning, you had a few layer 1 blockchains, and they were proof of work. So your computer had value, right? And the only way to have trustless communication, trustless transaction, is to pay for that work, pay for the compute. Right now, that's not a problem anymore. We kind of solved it. So your computer is actually useless, right? So in that regard, so we have to. Like the only way for networks to really build and contribute is to add again that GPU load or whatever, even if it's CPU load or storage, that's fine. But it has to be substantial. And the only way to do that is either by having a real market for it, right? So it starts with the market, and then, okay, what's the value of compute that can provide for that market? And naturally, that's DeepIn. And then you have AI coming up, which uses GPU. You have cloud gaming, which uses GPU. I mean, it's the most strategic asset that we're building on Earth, right? So Bitcoin, I mean, you have the Bitcoin meme, right? And was the first. It has the legacy, but it's also a completely useless product, right? Like nobody transacts Bitcoin over the Bitcoin network, right? So Bitcoin has value because it has the name, and that's it, right? Like the network itself will.
Just so people know, Jor and I have this argument all the time. I don't necessarily agree with him on that.
No, this is just. I mean, like my point is, like you need to pack value into an asset that is valuable, and Bitcoin is a meme. I mean, it has historic value. It doesn't provide the value anymore because there are networks that are decentralized that can provide.
You're not gonna drag me into this argument with you in front of everybody on the community. We can have this conversation outside.
Right. But the point is, obviously, that there needs to be economic substance, and whether we agree or not, whether Bitcoin has that economic substance, at least we can agree, Jeff and me, that YOM has that economic substance, and it has a distinct one, right? It's not in the verification of transaction that has been resolved. It's in literally running an entire game end to end, right, on the network, and that's
it's the meter with which you use the exchange of value between people who want to sell the GPU cycles and people who want to buy the GPU cycles.
Yes,
right. So the medium of exchange for that will be the YOM token.
We're also the dispersion, so the attribute of it being decentralized, like effectuates into value. A lot of difficult words. What I mean with that is that, for example, in AI, you actually want to have all of your GPU clusters close together. You want a hyperscaler, massive data center. That's where you're running your models, right? And latency doesn't matter that much because most latency happens within the GPU, right? The thinking. But with cloud gaming, it's completely the other way around. You need very short latency. Right, like you want to have the quickest, right? So it matters that the GPU is dispersed, that it is decentralized. So that has
close to the end user as possible.
Exactly. So if you want to build economic substance on GPUs, the only way to scale is to ensure that everything runs first on a cloud gaming network, because then you have substance, and then obviously you have idle compute, etc. And you can fill it up with AI, but that's the second step, because you cannot build a competitor to the hyperscalers on the decentralized network. You will not survive, right? The only way is to start with the cloud gaming, and that's what people need to realize. Like that's the game we're playing, right? We're playing an open compute game, and it's not about the gaming. It's about making sure that everyone has access.
When Yorick gets on a rant like this, which guys, this is not the first time he's been on a jag like this. I wonder to myself, a guy this smart must get terribly frustrated by people who can't get their head wrapped around what he's talking about. I feel like I'm fortunate in that I catch 75% of what he says and get excited because I kind of know where he's going to. I think it's my game background that allows me to get that, but maybe because I've worked with programmers for many, many years as well. If you're just only been about a token, if you've been a token collector or a token investor, and you're not looking at the technology that you're talking about, that we're building, that we've proven out, then I think you're doing yourself a bit of disservice. I would suggest strongly that you go through our white paper, understand the technology that we're talking about building and the marketplace that we're going into, and why this should feel very different than every other speculative coin that you might have jumped into in the past.
Yes. Yeah, and in the end, it's a journey, right? And because we have limited resources, I mean, that's the reality. Like we're building this in the right order, in the right sequence to arrive at a particular goal. And as part of that, a TG is going to happen. And as part of that, we need the grinders and we need the community and we need everybody to contribute, because we cannot let the big powers on Earth dominate reality. Because that's what's happening, guys. I mean, look at everyone. Look at the Epstein files. Look at big tech, Silicon Valley. Look at the billionaires. Look at what they're doing. They're destroying the place.
Yeah, if there's a group that I like less than government, it's probably that Epstein class.
And we're moving these GPU, the capacity. Like GPUs are the only thing that will matter in the end, right? Like think about it, right? AI is going to take over all of the jobs. What do people do? Right? Like people will not have jobs anymore. Now they start playing video games. They start GPUs will get better and better. So the GPU is the most important thing there is on Earth. Nothing else. Fuel doesn't matter. Oil doesn't matter. The moment we stop working, who will buy a car? Right? Like at some point that's the end game. We're talking.
I think yours going way down a path that I'm like, oh, that's kind of Terminator land. I'm not sure I'm there yet. There'll still be jobs, but again, passive income stream is always going to be helpful to people.
It's like a different town hall type.
Andy, I'm gonna let you bring us in, land the plane. Do you want to bring it in?
No, I was just going to say, look, I know I understand people's disappointment. Thank you very much for sticking with us. It will be worth it in the end. Again, Yor and I were on a call earlier. The names that we're having conversations with are just really big. It's not, and I was just having a quick look on Telegram and someone's like fake team, fake investors. I'm like, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, we're all doxed. Everything's doxed. We're a proper business. There's, we're not claiming to build a game with $10 million and we're going to build a AAA game in 3 minutes flat. We are doing proper stuff and it's exciting. So stay with us. That's it.
All right, folks. We went about an hour. No, about 56 minutes. That's pretty close to an hour.
There are still some questions unanswered. What do we do with them? Because I think that also asks for either clarity through an article or in the chat, or especially
maybe a question about doing FAQs, don't we? Really?
Yeah.
Some
of the questions, again, I don't think a lot of the answers are going to be terribly pleasing to everybody. Like, when can we hear about the exchanges we're launching on? They want to wait until that date is finalized before they want to talk about it. What games are we launching? Until we can sign those contracts, we can't talk about it.
Well, saying that though, right? The games we will have over the next, I spoke to the BD team, and over the next 6 weeks, we will be releasing game names, which will be games that you've heard of. There's a couple of big British ones. I mean, you got to go look at John Kavanagh's background and look, he's got Mission Impossible, Top Gun, Star Wars Lego, Tomb Raider, Hitman, Thief. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Sonic. What else did he do? Rango. Hitman. So Hitman, yeah. So we're not going to be bringing those on straight away at that level, but that's where we're pushing towards. That would be the first thing. The sexes, we're not going to go hard on thousands of sexes. We keep it tight, keep it short, but we go for good ones, and that's the point. It's not right, we're going to list on bit something that you've never heard of based out of Ireland. They're good brand names, and it's going to be ones that you're happy about. So sorry to interrupt you there, Jeff. It's
but it also ties to the exchange. Also ties to the vesting that we ask that we have decided, because it's them who decide, not us.
Yeah, they insisted.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we will work on a companion article to go with this broadcast too, to kind of sum this stuff up for everybody.
Yeah. And I think the best way to assess this, because it's a lot of words, blah blah blah, a lot of updates, investors, backers, stories, burning, on chain. Okay, what does that all mean, right? So I want everyone to also think about that. Then look at the top 100 caps, open every coin that you see there, and then do the question, okay, what YOM is building, is that worth more or less than what you see in the top 100, right? And I think that's the only thing that we can state.
Especially Dogecoin. That's the one to really bear in mind.
Well, yeah, Dogecoin, Cardano, like look at all of them, I would say, and then make your own assessment. And that's the FTV we should actually be targeting. And then whatever you do with it, that's entirely up to you. I mean, whether you want to focus on launches or unlocks, vesting, like all of that obviously matter to you. But there is a whole invisible force of value that is actually the fundamentals of what we're building, right? And I think the problem with crypto in general is that 99% are tokens that do nothing, right? So people have been trained. I've been trained, Andy has been trained, that you need to get out of a token as soon as possible because it's just a casino, right? Like that is the reality. And I think that's what is also, if you look at, so a lot of people in the community understand this, but there are people that need to also realize or do the research to understand what we're building, because by talking about YOM is scamming all of you. I mean, literally, like we have not raised any single dollar from anyone, right? Like that is just do your research, right? We're a fair launch. There is nobody in any of the communities that we have raised money from. And yes, of course, you can buy tokens from a DEX and you have a feeling that you bought it from us, but then actually you are buying it from somebody else. So you need to look into the mirror of whom you're buying it from, because we are, as a project, we're putting all of our efforts into that. We're diluting our equity positions, right? That's what we've sold. We have sold 0 tokens on the market, right? And that's what you guys, everything we've done is goodwill. It's been goodwill, it's giveaways for the grinders to get everyone on board.
To defend them a little bit. I mean, again, I go and look at a lot of the postings from all the people, we call them grinders, but these guys who are out there talking about what they get involved in the Mindshare program. The Mindshare has done a great job of saying, okay, you've got to really put substance out. So they're obviously reading our stuff because they're making very smart posts. So the message is getting out there about what we're building. Say again?
I was just going to say you're exactly spot on there. You see some of these projects where the kind of you're right. I think grinders is quite a good phrase, but
we lost Andy.
Oh, I'm gone.
Right,
Can you hear me?
you're good.
Okay, cool. I disappeared there for a second. Anyway, I was going to say, I think you're right. I was looking at some of the X posts, and they're good conversations. They're intelligent people who are adding real value. And that's what I'd say is what Jeroen said, and I think what Jorrit said as well. We are looking at better ways to make sure that we don't...
Yeah.
Nobody is detrimental according to what we're doing. And in particular, the questers, grinders...
it's all important.
Community.
All of that is really important, right? Because without the grinders, like if we would have a hard time spreading the word, right? Like that is really what you guys are doing. You're effectively spreading the word. That's it. When are you introducing headless systems? That's a very good point. We are actually working on that at the moment. So that is not announced yet. Yes. But that's fine. Now it is. I think it is announced somewhere in a roadmap that we did, where we put the bullet point. Okay, we will go for a full container-based solution, but we haven't made it big, indeed. Yeah.
All right, I've tried to say goodbye a couple of times. This time I really mean it.
That's it. Off we go.
Thanks so much, everyone, for giving us your time and for paying attention, for all the work you're doing already for our community. If you're terribly disappointed, we understand. But we hope we've made our case to say that this is really the best for ourselves, for you, for the project, for the gaming industry, for Deepin and crypto. There's a lot of winners in this scenario. It's just a matter of learning patience. Again, that's a tough lesson, and I get it. We've all done it. When we had the conversation internally, we were like, "Oh, this is going to kill us again."
Jeff, you're now talking forever. Yeah, trying to seal off.
We call that the Lebanese goodbye. All right, everybody, be good to yourselves. Be good to other people. Drink lots of water. We'll see you again next week.
Thanks very much, guys. Take care.
Bye.